up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Real Chat Podcast with my man, Pastor Michael Thomas, Justin Jackson.
What up?
What's happening?
Yo, so today's topic is K.I.S.S.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay, right. And so it's about simplifying all things in life.
Yes.
Okay.
Keeping everything simple. I mean, a lot of times we create problems when we're presented with solutions.
Okay.
So we get a solution to our problem, to our problem, and we just create more problems and we make it difficult. So I think, like for me, when you look at you struggling in life, you finances changed or something like that. Simplify it. Go get a job.
Right.
Go, reach out to the right resources. Don't sit back and complain and dig yourself a bigger hole.
Right.
By making things overcomplicated.
Man, I've done that. I can recall a time not too long ago. I got a job and I'm doing great, making good money. And so I got permission from my wife to get my dream car, a Dodge Challenger. But my credit was not the not the greatest, And so, I finally get a good job. I'm making decent money. Instead of getting something that's best for the family and something that's affordable, I get my dream car and I'm having fun with it. But the kids are complaining because there ain't no leg room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have the Hemi like I really want it. You know what I mean? I got these high payments and then I end up losing the job. And now I'm struggling to even keep the car.
Got
you know what I
big
mean?
Payments, got big insurance.
Right.
Yeah,
I should have kept it simple and just got something that was family oriented and stacked some bread and you know what I'm saying? And now I'm recovering from that. And it's like, man, to your point about having a solution, but then creating a whole new problem. You know what I mean? Like people really got to be considerate of what they do in their decision making.
Yes.
Because the next thing that you choose to do, though it might not be wrong, ain't nothing wrong with getting your dream car, but it might not be the best time. You know what I mean? And now the dream car has become a nightmare.
Well, let me ask you. So being a pastor, you deal with a lot of people. You talk to a lot of people in the community. And, do you keep it simple with them? Simplify things so that they can understand.
Absolutely.
What you're saying and where you're coming from.
No doubt about it. I mean, sometimes people have different issues and complications that they're going through. And really, they just need to take a step backwards. And what I always try to do is encourage people to get closer to God. But, a lot of times people can be in crisis and I can't be in crisis with them. You know what I mean? I got to help de-escalate whatever might be the situation that they're going through. And sometimes the easiest thing is to just do some self-reflection and then do the easiest simple thing to alleviate the problem and situation that they're in.
Okay, well, see, so you had the opportunity to meet my nephew, Mayan, and I'm enjoying him being at my house, and working with him, and he really is picking up to the keep it simple, stupid. He uses that all the time now, and I really like that because he, a lot of times the struggles that he had in his life was because he made things more complicated than what they needed to be.
Right.
He overstimulated himself by doing so. So you would tell him to do something and he, and I'm well, if I do it this way, but then when you break it down and give him those simple steps,
right.
He's like, oh yeah, I should have just did it that way, in the beginning, and a lot of times I made my life that way. Right. As far as job choices, trying to go in there and sound more articulate. You're trying to sound more professional, and next thing you know, you get this job title and you really don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
So I walk into a job with this massive resume, and next thing you know, they're like, do you know about this? And it's simple things that maybe I should have known. Yeah. And now I put myself in a situation where I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Yeah. And they're using these big words, kind of like public speaking. You go out into the public or you're working with a school or something like that. And if you try to use bigger words, then you lose your train of thought.
Sure.
You know, because now you're trying to explain yourself out of this word that you fully don't understand yourself.
Right.
You know, but if you keep it simple, I mean, you get your message across.
Absolutely. I mean, even in the Bible, Jesus did parables to break down the things that he was trying to teach to people, you know, and man has a way of
Complicated.
I'm messing up. Complicating things.
Once they make things hard.
Right. People make it harder for themselves and dig a deeper hole. You know what I mean? Sometimes the best thing to do is to not say anything at all. You know what I mean? You can make matters worse by running your mouth. And yeah, man, sometimes people just need to understand that to just take it back a notch. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's a big problem that we have with a lot of the youth out here today, trying to overcomplicate things with them instead of just talking to them and explaining it in the most simplest form.
Sure.
You know, you wanna generate money or income, and you're not old enough to work yet.
Right.
Okay, we'll go get you a shovel. We'll go get you, a snow blower, something that you can carry around with you, and you get out here and make some money, earn some money. Summertime come around, I mean, it's simple. But a lot of times, I talk to these young kids and they're just like, well, I'm going to go online into the stock market of you don't have an account yet. How you going into the stock market? You don't have an account yet. You can't even get a bank account on your own.
For sure.
They want to flip shoes and do these stocks and stuff.
Right. Or hustle. Sometimes people get out in the streets and they're grinding and doing things that they ain't got no business to do. But the simple or smart thing would be to really get yourself a regular job and be a good citizen, because trying to sell dope and hustle is not worth the jail time, the probation, the reputation, the setbacks that it can cause further down the line. You know what I mean? I made mistakes when I was a teenager and a man in my 20s. And even now, today, I'm 41 years old, and I still have complications and frustrations that arise from things that I did in my past.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a lot of things I can't do in life that I would love to do. I'd love to go into real estate. Can't do real estate because I made my life so complicated.
Sure.
And it just built upon, it was like a building block. I started out with, like you said, wanting to hustle, do things like that. Next thing you know it, I got a case. So now I'm trying to juggle this case. I'm trying to juggle probation. I'm trying to do the right thing. Now I can't keep working at the same job I was working at. Probably got pulled over, car impounded, and I lost my car. And it's just one small decision that I was thinking,
ripple effect.
Yeah, and I was thinking too complicated. I need to get this now. I need to make this happen. Oh man, my rent's late. My electric's not paid. My phone bill's due. All these things that I'm trying to do.
For sure.
And now I pulled a trigger on one stupid decision.
Yeah.
When I could have just made it simple.
Right.
Let me reach out to energy assistance. Let me get some help here. You know, but sometimes I think you let that pride get in the way.
No doubt about it.
I'm too good for this. You know? But if you make it simple,
sure,
and put this blueprint together where you could just get that energy assistance, pay that light bill, you get that water bill paid. That's step one,
Getting a second job. Some people act like I didn't work multiple jobs before, left the factory to go work at the restaurant. And man, no, people act like they got too much pride to do something. They want the easy way out.
Right. You offer them a solution. Hey, these people are hiring. Oh, well, I'm not going to do that type of job.
Yeah,
I can't do that type of job. That's not for me. Well, why are you above it?
Yeah. I
mean, you just stressed to me about how you're in a financial bind. Now I just gave you a solution.
Sure.
And you overcomplicating it by, I need something different. That just line of work. It's not for me.
You know what? I think some people like chaos. If you've been used to conflict and crisis and chaos for so long, it becomes a comfort zone, and it becomes the norm for you. And even though it's not beneficial, it's just the space that people operate in. And we need to help people get out of their comfort zone, get out of a space of chaos and calamity, and get into stable.
Building a solid foundation. You gotta have solid ground. I mean, when I look at it's the oldest nursery rhyme storybook, the 3 P's, man. You got the wood house, you got the the
straw,
sheet, and then you got the brick. You you laying a good foundation, and that's the one that survives. So I think that what we do and having these podcasts that we're doing is helping lay a better foundation.
Sure.
I talked to my Uncle Bobby. All right, my Uncle Bobby, I told you a little bit about that, but I haven't seen my Uncle Bobby since, he was 15 years old. Man's been locked up in prison for over 30. And I talked to him yesterday, and one of the things that he told me is changing the narrative.
Okay.
That you have to instill in these young people, that these decisions that they make are going to cost you dearly.
Yeah.
So if we keep it simple, and I think that's kind of getting down on the level of talking to our youth instead of talking over them.
Sure.
And I mean, Corey, the producing man, he can definitely attest to this. When you come from a place of authority, it's harder for us to listen.
Sure.
So it's kind of like talking down to the kids.
Right.
One thing he mentioned was just being in there and making things more simple. When you get the education and knowledge behind what you want to do, and then you create that plan, because like you said, he just got used to the beatings.
Right.
You're going to go to the hole. You're going to get disciplined, but you're not getting down on that level because it's coming from an authority figure and not a peer. You're not on that same, that lived experience.
Yeah. I know where a place where people really complicate things is relationships. Some people, men or women, they have this particular standard. Oh, they got to be making this amount of money. They got to look like this. They got to treat me like this. And they have to have these goals and ambitions for me to even want to consider them. And you find yourself alone for a whole lot of years because you want a standard. First of all, you ain't even at that standard, but you want this person to be there. And, I thank God for my wife. When we first got together, man, I had just came out of emergency surgery. So I didn't have a car. I just started a job. And I was still living at home because I was like recovering from surgery, and my wife and I got together, and I'm thankful that, she didn't have this incredible expectation of me. She was willing to love me enough and allow me to grow to become the man that I am today.
Help you grow.
Exactly.
Because a lot of times you got to ask, like, what do you bring to the table?
Right.
Anybody that's on the reciprocating end of that, what do you bring to the table?
For sure.
Like you have these high expectations of me. What do you have to offer?
Sure.
Other than what you're telling me.
Right.
We got a good little studio now, so I'll be safe to say it. We all have one. For the men, we all have one. Don't put it on a pedestal.
Right.
Women, they all have one. So what do you really have to bring to the table other than just that?
Right.
Are you going to help me grow? Are you going to nourish my goals?
Sure.
That doesn't mean financially, that could just be waking up in the morning and saying, hey, I'm proud of you. You can do this. Shout out to my lady, because she helped me through. I just got certified as a peer specialist. So I'm waiting on my state certification,
Sure.
So that's done. But this is something that, she helped nourish. She didn't say, well, the pay's not really good in that field, or, I need you to do better.
Right.
She was like, cool, if that's what you want to do, I support you.
For sure.
And that right there just lights a fire. That's
absolutely.
Like,
when you have somebody that got your back like that. And another thing, when you put somebody on a pedestal, they are sure to fall. They're gonna let you down, man, because there's nobody that belongs on a pedestal except for God. And so, man, when you put somebody on a pedestal and then they show why they don't belong on there, hopefully you have enough grace and love for them that you can still honor them and be with them. But a lot of times in the world today, people put people on a pedestal and they fall, and then the relationship's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like you said earlier, you mentioned, and that was a very valid, good point, man. You said self-reflection. If you can't step back and self-reflect on who you are,
right,
and know who you are,
yeah,
you're gonna keep running into the wall. You're just gonna keep falling off that pedestal. You keep trying to put yourself up there, and you don't even know who you are. You know, because you have this ideal of who you want to be and what you want to be, or what you think somebody should see you as.
Sure.
But this isn't the energy or the actions you're putting out.
Man, you remind me of a situation that I just recently heard about a guy that struggles keeping a job because he goes to work and he gets fired from all these different places because he expects the job to adapt to him. When it's like, dude, you going into this place, they don't need you.
You to be here.
Yeah, like they'll get rid of you and find somebody else in a heartbeat, man. Like you need to put your head down and do your job. See what you can do to help out. Try to stay longer. Come in early. Yep. And when you prove yourself, then they'll recognize the value in you. But if you just walk into a work situation and just think that they're finna bow down to you, man, you ain't keeping it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not keeping it simple. And, you know, and I think that's a major thing, like teaching the youth nowadays that, hey, your character is gonna follow you.
For sure.
So when you develop this defiance and this disobedience and just constantly wanting to fight back at an early age, you take that into adulthood.
Yeah.
And then you're just uncoachable. Like
absolutely.
Even trying to play for a team, you're uncoachable because you think you just the best thing smoking jumping out here. And then they find, I think, you know, you said it the other day, you got some fly shoes, but you've been on the bench.
Right.
You know, so it's like
you need to keep it simple, man. You need to like your regular, you know what I'm saying, work your way up. You average 20 points a game, then you can wear the clean J's. But if you on the bench, I don't care if you wearing Payless shoes, hand-me-downs, like, yo, you got to work on your game a little bit before you get there.
And learning, you know, but yeah, you take that into adulthood and then you take it to a job, just like you were just explaining about this guy. He goes into the work thinking that y'all need to adapt to me.
Right.
Like, no, you need to learn and take a step back, do some self-reflection, and figure out why I keep getting fired.
Right.
Why can't I keep a job?
What's that saying? to do the same thing over and over again, even though it doesn't work, is insanity.
Insanity, yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are insane to just continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. Like you got to be a fool to intentionally do something over and over again, knowing that it doesn't work.
Keep beating your head on the wall. You just keep running into that wall.
There's got to be some self-reflection. You gotta take a step back and take a look at what has worked and what isn't work and make the proper adjustments, man. That's just a wise, smart thing to do.
Look in the mirror and say, these are my flaws.
Right.
These are the issues that I have.
Ask somebody, like, yo, keep it real with me. You my friend. Like, tell me what you think I need to work on. What's some characteristic traits that I have or don't have that I need to work on? How can I be a better man or do this? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Become a better person. That's being a good friend.
Right.
You know, it's not a yes man.
A real friend to tell you like, yo, bro, you tripping, you slipping right now. Them fake friends, they want to see you fall. They'll set you up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think the youth need to hear that.
Right.
Say that again.
Man, I done been in work situations where I'm taking extra long breaks. And the guys that train me, they taking extra long breaks, but then they also the ones that's telling on me so they can get me up out of there. And this one guy came up to me and was like, hey man, you need to stop taking all these long breaks and because these guys ain't your friends. They really telling on you. Yep. They want to see you get fired. And I'm thinking, oh man, you just hating, man. You don't want to see me take no extra long break until one day I get pulled into the office. Yep. And it's exactly what he said it was. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you think the cats that's doing wrong with you ain't necessarily your real friends, man. Like you need a real friend to let you know what you're doing wrong, no matter how difficult that conversation is. Give me the ugly truth versus a beautiful lie.
Gotta have the difficult conversations, you know, and that's
the most important.
Again, that's where you keep it simple.
Right.
Like don't overcomplicate it and try to make somebody feel like they're more than what they're putting out.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I just keep it 100. You know, when I tell somebody like, look, the energy you putting out is garbage, it's trash.
Sure.
You know, I have no problem doing that. And I tell them and I let them know, hey man, this is coming from a place of love.
Right.
It's not coming from a place of resentment or jealousy or anything like that. I want to see you succeed. But when you're not putting out that same energy, you trash.
Yeah.
Like this just, you know, it's like a mirage. You know, you see one thing, but this is what I get.
Right.
You know, I think me and my lady, we call it bait and switch, you know, like, so, so she called it bait and switch because when she moved back up here from Tennessee, you know, I was in the gym, I'm working out, I'm getting nice, you know, and then she get up here, hang out a couple times. Then when she moved up here, she started feeding me good, you know, so, I mean, I had to put a little bit on, you know, but she called it, she always bait and switch me. Yeah. You know, but I see a lot of people out here in society doing just that. Right. You know, you come in my face and you show me one thing, and the next thing you know that's not what I get. Yeah. You know, when I need you, when I reach out to you, you know, and I'm trying to just get that little word of advice. Yeah. Nowhere to be found. Sure. Crickets.
Well, you know, a wise man told me that a professional is just a person that does the basics over and over again and does them well. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you just stick to the basics and you do something really, really well, is where you'll see some great success. Take a strength that you have and strengthen it even more instead of trying to take a weakness and make it like you can do that. But the more important thing is take that strength and make that a great thing. You know what I mean? Like a guy, you talk about athletes. A wide receiver just works on running those routes. It doesn't matter. He could be the fastest guy out there on the field, but if he can't properly run a route, the quarterback ain't never going to throw him the ball. You know what I'm saying? The point guard works on his dribbles over and over and over again.
Fastest one on the field.
Exactly.
You be the fastest one on the field. You can run 3 seconds, boom, quick. You know, you run the 50 fast. Right. But if you can't run those routes, I'm not throwing the ball to you.
No doubt about it.
Because you can be real fast, but you just gonna run into danger every time.
No doubt about it. Yeah, man. And so like I think just doing the basics and mastering that, you know, and then you can work on something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone. Do something that you might have never done before. Get good at one thing and then slowly implement and add other things to your craft or to your arsenal, whatever it might be. You know what I mean?
I like how you said get out your comfort zone, because I think that's a big thing too. With part of trying to become successful, people are afraid to get out of that comfort zone because they're afraid of failure. Right. You know, but they can't look at failure as, okay, I'm gonna give up and try the next thing. Yeah. Do it again. Figure out, sit back, self-reflect, and figure out why you failed. Sure. You know what I mean? Not how you failed. Right. Why did I fail? And then you know how to fix that. Yes. And hone that craft. Okay. And you're not gonna fail on that.
Man, sometimes you gotta fail 1,000 times before you get the win. You think about it, you playing a video game, right? I cannot beat the boss. I cannot figure out how to overcome this. You know what I'm saying? For my gamers out there. But after you done failed a few times, you start to see some things that work. And next thing you know, you start to do move. You do what works over and over and over again. Next thing you know, you finally get the victory, man. Yep. Keep it simple, keep it basic, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to try every nook and cranny. You know what I'm saying? What Cat Williams say? You be trying to like the tiger. We're trying.
But yeah, man, that's I like that. I like that. Follow, you know, the video game process. You know, because that's right. You couldn't be Super Mario Brothers. You just keep doing the same thing over and over, and you keep getting the same results. Right. You try something different, and it works. Yeah. Now you beating the game. Right. You know, now you finally beat this game. I had to do that when I played what was it? It's like the Greek gods. You know,
was it God of War?
God of War. There you go. God of War, man. I couldn't beat this level. And I just kept trying. I come home after work, start playing that game, and I just kept losing. And I'm not a big gamer, but the minute I started paying attention to what the buttons was doing, you know, and I figured out how I can do this and what works. Right. I beat the game.
Man, sometimes you got to do your research. I done had to get on YouTube and type in, how do I do this? How do I overcome this level? You know what I'm saying? And then it showed me a walkthrough. I'm doing exactly what they're doing on YouTube. And now I done got past it. You know what I mean? So like some of y'all really got to do your research, do your homework, and see how others have been successful so that you can be successful.
Keyword, you know what I mean? How others got successful. Right. Because if you continue to try to do it your way and your way is not working, right, and somebody's giving you the plan,
trying to give you the game,
like, hey, yo, this is how I did this. Right. You know, and you're like, well, I'm gonna try it this way. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of skeeviness to it, you know, and I'm gonna try to cut some corners. And you know, and then like you said, it's like with the hustler, you end up trying to cut some corners, you get knocked. Right. Why didn't you just do it the way that your neighbor that is successful told you to do it.
Yeah.
You know, because I guess some of that's trying to be in the limelight. Like you just want to be the person that came up with this master plan,
right.
You know, because it's all about self.
Sure.
I did this. No, he showed me how to do this. And now this is where I'm at.
Right.
You know, now I'm successful.
Absolutely.
You know, and once you reach that, then you do something else. You move on to the next thing, you know, and that's where the growth comes in.
For sure.
You know, and I know that's what you wanted to get on today was growth. You know,
right? No, you know what was really helped me grow is not being so focused on myself, but being humble enough to sit underneath others who, like you said, have been there before, have done that, you know what I mean? And being humble enough to listen and ask them questions and glean behind them. To glean behind somebody is to just learn from somebody and allow them to teach you how to reach the goal that you're trying to
and it never makes you less than. You know, if you're willing to reach out and utilize these resources and skills, like there's a lot of things you know that I don't know.
Sure.
And I definitely call you and be like, look, I know you've been doing this in this arena a little bit. You know, what do you think about that? You know, I had a major decision I had to make in the last week, and I called you on it twice. You know, and I think the sitting back and reflecting, you know, also humbled me a little bit in why I made that decision.
Sure.
You know, but the advice that I got, I would have never got if I didn't reach out to you and get it.
Right.
You know, so learning from somebody doesn't make you less than. It just means
it makes you wise. I think. You think you're smarter. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if I want to do real estate, I don't know the first thing about real estate. I'm gonna call one of my realtor buddies. I'm gonna call somebody I know that does real estate.
For sure.
You know, I mean, I had one of the kids at the house told me the other day. He looked dead at me and said, "Well, you didn't even know how to do the math."
Yeah.
I said, it's been about 30 years since I had to do that kind of math.
Right.
You know,
we all need good counsel and encouragement. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you don't have somebody that can give you sound advice, then I encourage you to do some reaching out and find somebody. You know what I mean? Talk to somebody who you respect and ask them to educate you or guide you in the direction that you're trying to pursue, because trying to figure it out on our own, man, is only could set us back or get us into a place where we just be ready to give up entirely. You know what I mean? So
utilize the resources and follow the blueprint.
Right.
When somebody lays out a blueprint for you, follow the blueprint. It's there for you.
No doubt about it, man. I'm really glad that we can touch on this subject about not overcomplicating things and trying to keep things simple and being smart and being wise, because, man, too many years have I wasted. Too much resources, energy, money have I spent and had nothing to show for, all because I was trying to do too much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even today, I'm still learning and working on trying not to do too much, but dialing back. Sometimes, what do they say? Sometimes less is more. You know what I mean?
There you go. Less is more.
Man,
think before you act. You know, think before you act.
Right.
Don't just get an idea and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna go pull the trigger on it." It's good to pull the trigger, but everything you pull the trigger on isn't good.
Make sure it doesn't backfire in your face.
That's right.
Man, we can't wait to give y'all more of our podcast. Make sure you tune in, subscribe, share, like, follow, leave a comment letting us know other topics that you want to talk about, and keep it simple.
Keep it simple, people.
Straight up. Yo, shout out to everybody out there. Much love.
Definitely.